Hello, welcome to another episode of the GNPS. General Engineer lomfana wangale kothukela ngiphethe izinyo zangale kothukela. Sitting across me is my next guest. Welcome from
the General.
Ukraine.
Hayi mina ndibhutwana.
Yeah, ngiyaphila. Ngicela utshela abantu lapha kule camera ukuthi ubhuti ubani, uqhamukaphi.
Ngusushilo lisiphuma ngale kothukela igama Melusi ngoba kubheka khona ngale kothukela enquthu.
Hayi,
ekhaya senquthu impela.
Sibonga. So mangabe ngithi ngwasenquthu ngidlala ngani. Ngazi omunye mhlawumbe uyayibuza ukuthi lo muntu lo uthi ngwasenquthu kodwa abantu basenquthu asibaboni kulento yakhe.
Kanti isikhona sesifikile thaba senquthu.
From Ukraine.
No, but baby to Galaxies kwahlula itshitshi cha Galaxies. Angengikhali siyaphila.
Nisuke nini lenquthu?
Sisuke nini? Sisuke ngabo was around 11 if I'm not mistaken. Ngabuye ngasilekha ngale
nje. Take him. Hayi lesen khuleka sosuka latest 9 o'clock.
Uye njalo. Uye. Mina ngilomuntu osebenza ngeminute. So already ngifice vele sengimlindile because ngumuntu isikhathi. Khona nje insizwa ngengiyibize nayo ihlulwe yisikhathi kodwa ke ya. Sazama ukusondeza inkalo kwasho ukuthi hayi bangikhuza sabuye sahamba kahle.
Hayi mina ngithi I'm never late. I'm always on time to arrive safe.
It's key. It's very important. Yeah. Leyo ngeke siyibalekele kwiqiniso kodwa ke phela kunento ekuthiwa human error inokwenzeka nje ungalindelanga usalisa ukuphusha kodwa ke leyo isho iqiniso ngempela akumele ujahe egcineni ungafiki la uyakhona
ingakho nje omunye umuntu mhlawumbe bezodikela hey laba abantu kunene ngibalindela
ayish
mina vethu ngiyengikholela ukuthi nje inqobo masifike sisaphephile bese siyayenza lento besifisa ukuyenza hawu kufe ba ngoba siyenzile into ebesihloso ukuyenza
yeah that's true.
Melusi prawami before siye kude uMelusi ubani ukhulele kuphi impilo ibinjani nje ukukhula yabo ngiyengizwa abantu bethi hayi thina sakhula ngeapartheid thina sakhula kanjani kodwa manje uthola ukuthi as much as singakusho lokho kodwa impilo ebesiyiphila ayifani neze
if I were to tell you ukuthi uMelusi ubani ngitshele the whole story mhlawumbe ngathatha usuku lonke kunezinto
azami
like at some point I even wanted umuntu ovela phayo ke kodwa akakho fika isikhala la khona ngangifisa ukuthi ngiapproach someone who can just sit next to that person and write a book about my life because isuka kude iyaba nobumnandi nobunzima yabo ngizalelwe funny enough I was not born in Nquthu. I was born in Tembisa. Then when I was 2 years old then we went down to Nquthu. Kodwa ubaba ngizalwa waseNquthu nomama waseNquthu ukuthi kusho babe besayikhiphile. So after 2 years then we went down to Nquthu ngendawo kuthiwa Silutshane. Yeah ngakhulela eSilutshane. I did my primary school Silutshane primary. Ngafunda iminyaka eshodayo I'll tell you later on why then ngazibona ngisemsimbu secondary of which it's another high school yakhona endaweni so nje basically ngisho ngithi ngasesilutshane ngikhulele khona ngafunda khona ngomusa kaNkulunkulu imabo ephakeme emfundo ngiwafunde eGoli. I went to the University of Johannesburg ngayenza iBEd khona for 4 years then yeah namanje impilo sangibeke khona kwamanje nxa amatoho but ke ngoba ngisho ngithi impilo ngibeke khona ngalo kwamatoho bengikhela phezulu nje ngesummary kaMelusi but if I were to go back to tell you ukuthi ngikhule kanjani bambala we will be able to make it out of ama conditions engikhulele ngaphansi kwawo. For instance ukukhula like when I was still at primary impilo be right because itime abelikhona uma ulede bekhona even though ngingokuqala kubaba kuma wami then ngilanye usisi wami yeah so nje it was abazali bese khona boyi2
yeah
then I wouldn't say ukuthi we were sikhule somndeni right it was a struggle but then besingakasala singadlile then impilo yashintsha nje 2004 makushona ubaba yeah that's when izinto ziqale zathi ukuthi because now I had to try and afita amajuba akhe awuthu engasebenzi
already belingaspani
yeah already ngaspani ithambo lisekhona yeah so i-oledi belingaspani and i-oledi lami i-time alambele nabafazi abayi-3 umama bawu-3
niphila nonke ekhaya eli-1 noma endaweni
that's one
eyodwa.
thing that I say ukuthi ubaba mlalele khona ngimbonge because oma wakwazi ukubabeka endaweni ezihlukene. So uma wami was the last kulabo 3 show umagcino umuzi wakho sesilutshane then umama uphakathi ukwalivisi uyazi kwalivisi then nkosikazi kabo bomdala kula ekhaya Hammersdale just next to where we are.
Yeah, perfect placement.
Yeah, so asikhulanga sihleli ndawonye sonke yabo umuntu nomuntu benekwabo umuntu nomuntu enekwabo. So ne already kuthe shoni time then already had to take it upon herself to make sure ukuthi abantwana badlile and nana. By that time I was doing grade 10 and ngoba ngisho ngithi la inkoni inkinga iqale khona because growing up mina there was only one thing ebeyidume ekhanda lami ukudlala ibhola.
Njengayo wonke umfana
bekudlala ibhola. I remember ukuthi the very same year where my dad was shot, it was 2004, we were kuma arrangements ukuthi I had to go to ngaleso sikhathi leso kwakusekhona lento ababethi Transnet School of Excellence. So at the negotiations we at advanced stage with one of my former teachers was a primary uphelelana ndaba mhlawumbe yamazi ube PSL ref. So bebe arrange my time with that year I had to go to Transnet School of Excellence. Then the very same January I was supposed to go itime abelino 3 days elisukile ekhaya enquthu then at Tembisa then he was shot. Yebo. Even before kuvula ikole. So shintsha yonke into now to go back ukuthi cabanga previous year ngase ngibaxoxela abangani bami ukuthi no hayi this year ngiyahamba yabona ibhola beliduma ngaleyo ndlela ukuthi kwa grade 10 bengekho sure ukuthi mina ngisifundelana isikole. Choosing subjects, I didn't choose subjects based on what I wanted to be, but I chose subjects because I was still at school.
Because vele ingqondo
yami was not ukuthi academic, no, and I wouldn't say being smart, but being bamba kalula, so to say. In a way, even a primary, I went from I never did grade 6. So grade 5, grade 7. Bang champions school. I'm telling you.
No.
Ever, even namanje, some of the people will say, yeah, when you're still missing grade 6, please go back and do that. Because I've never done it. From grade 5, I went straight to grade 7.
Grade 6
So when I was in grade 10 ngayenza lawo subject lawo and ngoba bengisakule point lokuthi I was never smart but then umqondo bekubamba kalula. So teacher wami high school I think until Easter holidays where bebengiletha iclass in maths and science and mina literally ran away because my friends were in that geography history stream without realizing potential enginayo mina. Academically yes on that stream I can do anything that I want to be but because mina I was not much focus ekutheni education can give me something ngangisifundela nje ukuthi hayi mina ngizidlalela ibhola. So 2004 yashintsha ke into so uma time ngasashonile then onke ama arrangements asiyashintsha then ngahlala ke noma already then wazama already sakwakwazi ukusifundisa seswami 2005 then another storm safika futhi 2006 when I was doing matric first 3 months it was April 17 I'll never forget that day. I went to school, I came back at home and Uma was no more. Yeah, young shy, but again, being a sports person, I would say e-sport used to be my getaway ticket, so to say, because I will just go, I come back and sleep. So, I did my show in April, then I was still young. At that time, I didn't have an ID, but I was doing matric. Remember going to school in early, primary school, bank champion summer class. So mina, and I was a short at the time.
Even being in matric.
So I'm my show in April, then. So my show in April, then. But I don't know why. If you had asked me today,
so
I don't say.
So you had to leave your mother's house.
I said no. I said no. Then my younger sister, kwa yeno hamba yahlala kumama oledi. Mina ngaqala ukuhlala ekhaya ngiyi1 at that age until today. So if you had to ask me now ukuthi ngangithembeni, ngangiphila ngani, I can't give you a straight answer. Because I remember ukuthi
kanjani because mele udle, mele ugqoke, mele esikoleni uniform, impahla ukhanyisa ngani, upheka ngani.
I think into esingayo la it's what came to my mind ukuthi basically to summarize it, I'm a community child because what I'm already my shown and then the community had to take over without them imposing anything to me or without them bet when I was ohlala emzini wami. No, it was just as okay udlile namhlanje kusho manje angidlile mo let go. And then another person who I say ngiyengizwa abanye abantu abaningi bethi ama stepmothers, they've got ama bitter experiences so to say, but mina umamkhulu wami lo ngimsho ukuthi amasteli, she was the best because to me it's like wayengizala. Even elokishini amasteli they know ukuthi uyangizala but ngilasibona yakhe, but they don't know ukuthi actually ngizala umna kwabo. So mamkhulu at the time was a pensioner but after 3 months ebekwazi ukunikeza imali.
Sorry. Umamkhulu wakho, which is your father's first wife, took care of you as her own child.
Exactly.
After you had lost both your parents.
Even funeral kama wami yakava uyu mamkhulu wami.
You know, brawami, like the Western culture has influenced so much that it has villainized some of our impilo siko yethu.
Kakhulu.
Ukuthatha kwesithembu thina right now we are being told it's a crime against women, it's gender-based violence, it's this, that and that and that. But look at this scenario.
Mina ngoba ngihlele ngitshela ngithi I tend to be the opposite of that because mina the personal experience I had it was so different. It was so different ngoba mina umamkhulu wami wethu mina bengimbiza ngoma. Unfortunately ke naye I lost her this year January. And the way mina naye we were so close, mina bengayithola chance ukumfonela even now sengisebenza because she will literally call me every after 2 days or so just to check on how I am. Even now. So that's how close we were, mina naye. And besasela ekuthenini she covered funeral kama. Then after that she tried her best to look after me even though she was a pensioner engatholi next or 10. But bekwazi ukufaka lo 300 rand ngaleso sikhathi leso. Yebo. Yeah, impilo yazameka at that time kama tricky, it was not, but ke ukwazi abantu nokwazi abantu nokuthandwa abantu kuyenza impilo ibelula. Kuno even at school during that year bebangithethisa njalo uthisha because abanye bebengazi ukuthi kwashona uma oledi bebengasazi simi ngihlala kuso because I used to cover mina my challenges or my difficulties with a smile and playing sport. But there was one person who I still say is my mom at school.
You have a powerful mind, dog. Like, I mean, umncane kanjena mfethu, like how do you comprehend ukuthi ulahlekelwa abazali and you basically alone, like nami I have such experience. Like when my mother passed away, like I remember there was a time ngibuyela empangeni ngasengisipana ngina 25 ngimdala ngiqedile ayikho into engisayikhalela kumama yebo ngakhala nje ngoba phela ngisuke kodwa nje and I had this feeling, yabo le feeling leyo ukuthi ngathi yabo ngathi ubekwe entabeni phezulu esicongweni
kwathiwa ibonele
bese unqunu nakhona bese nje umoya ukushaya wonke ama direction wena lapho una you barely 18.
I was not even there because ngoba ngitshela ngithi I was younger than that in the sense yokuthi primary bangijumpisa amathi. So by the time ngifika matric vele mentally and ngawama numbers I was still young. I think I was about to turn 16. So kunomama esikoleni bebathi umemkhize even nama umama. So lo mama lona because should bebona ukuthi mina I don't want, like there's nothing that I hated at that time and even now for someone with makangibona and feel sympathy for me and say how bandla shame unkosi yami akanabazali. I hated that so much in a way yokuthi ekhaba ma old mama ongizalayo kusenquthu nakhona mhlawumbe uyazi emadolodolo manje ngasenondweni. So it's just distance encane nasekhaya but mina kama old bengiya once in a while. Reason being when you get there umagogo uzoqala athi unkosi yami umntana this umntana that, and to me that killed me because mina I at that time bengabona into wrong. Even nang funeral I was crying because I felt pain ngaleso sikhathi leso, but it was just life going on. it's what you are given to deal with it ngaleso sikhathi leso. Fortunately aphuma ama results ka matric ngaphasa. Here's the challenge. I don't have an ID. I don't know why I am at school, because mina anything that is on my mind ibhola. Usenzo zokutshela, even now he calls me Shafun from Jabupule. If I were to tell you le nto le yaqhamuka kanjani uzohleka. There was a point where Jabupule was on the peak of his career with Chiefs. Yenze lezi zinto ezingama dot. I came back at school one day ngathi choking ashone ground soon after final ngama oledi. Bengidlala nabantu abadala ke mina abobhuti bakasenza ubhuti kwazi yabo. Ngidlala nabo ibhola bebadala kunami. But I used to mesmerize them ngenze yonke into. So since that day they called me Jabupule.
Wash.
Ngoba namanje ngubhola. It came that ukuthi ngayenza nje lawo chok yabo. So that's how much ibhola I had that thing on me ukuthi there's nothing else. So
basically like ibhola is something that engakususa from noma ngayini enzeka empilweni yakho.
Anything. Ngihlezi ngibatshela usenzo yazi. The last time I spent a Christmas day at home was when I think I was 8-9 years. Since then 25 December hlale shale emagroundini. I've never had a Christmas day at home up until today. Same grounding ebhola. So after matric ke yenzeka ke inkinga now ke untanga zami ngifunda lesikole sebe ema varsity. I don't even know what is varsity. I don't have an ID. So wangilanda umamkhulu waseThekwini, and then I came back to Durban ngazohlala noma ekhaya baqala bakhiya. It was 2007 by then. So after that ngafika ngahlala eThekwini, abantu bengifunda nabo isikole baya kuma ngosuthu, others they went to Joburg. Now that's when the reality started to kick into me to say now I will see my peers and like abantu who was I would say esikoleni bengingcono kunabo. Now they're starting to impilo yabo siya shape while I don't know where I am. Yeah, yangishaya leyo. Angishaya kakhulu because I was here ngihlala ekhaya Amasdale. Ngihlala endlini. Ngihlala noma oledi endlini. And I will spend the whole day thinking ukuthi why me. So kahle kushuthi ukushona kwama parents wami, it took me 2 years for that reality to kick in now ukuthi okay, now here's the reality. Yabo. 2007 waphela, I don't have an ID. Umamkhulu lokho ezami ngishayisa ID. Then when I get to namanje ngisayizonde Home Affairs ePine Town, because when I got there they told me ukuthi on the system my surname I appearish and the name Melusi was using in matric it's not there. So when I do my fingerprints it says I'm Melusi Kubheka. I mean Zulu is my name mama. So that process of me changing all those things, changing the surname from my mother's surname. Angithi abazali bashona bebancane, I was doing esikoleni bekhamba ukubhalisa umntwana hayi ubani lona babhale phansi. You don't need to verify anything from a primary. So I mean I spent first 12 years of my 11 years as esikoleni nguMelusi Kubheka, and here when I come to the system but nguSibusiso Zulu.
Usibusiso igama lakho.
Igama lami ngaliphuma even namanje ID kukhona uSibusiso because of that. But fortunately sakwazi ukulungisa noma oledi, then I changed my surname ngama expenses akho ma oledi ngamshongo ukuthi mamkhulu wami. Then 2008 ngabuyela ekhaya eNquthu. I spent the whole year ngihlala ekhaya.
This is usubusukuphela bese kuphela isikhathi singakanani wahambile? 2007
I went. But ngama holidays bengibuya.
Okay.
Bengibuya ngama holidays ngihlala izinsukwana then ngize eThekwini. EThekwini kuyekuthiwa kuzanywa amatoho. Cabanga umuntu ongangami ngaleso sikhathi leso, cabanga ukuzama amatoho, ngacabanga ukuya esikoleni abantwana ontanga ke esikoleni, because for me bese qala ukuthi nje vele this is not for me. 2009 ngabuyela 2009 yeah 2009 ebona mase uqala ubona ukuthi okay now there's light at the end of the tunnel. Then that period of 2010 there was a point where I even tried to win suicide, so to say. Because 2009 kunabantu ngizokwenza example ngosenzo. Usenzo uyakwazi personally. So it means if mhlambe kukhona into engidinga ngixoxa nosenzo yathi hayi kunomuntu engimaziyo angasiza kanje. So nathi sinabo abantu who can help you if they want to help you. Yabo. Unfortunately ke abantu abafani. Some might promise to help and they want to use you. Or some might promise to help and it's a plot of trying to trap you. So nami I once fell for that trap because I remember ukuthi 2010 uqala. Okay, so I would say it's family friends. So baya kumamkhulu and one of my sisters or certain like amakuthi I know untwana siyamazi sizama assist kanje nama I was glad okay. Science application process ase UKZN and stuff ngani nama no I was happy ukuthi hayi angene ngisemakhaya and remember ukuthi mawufunda emakhaya izinto eziningi you're not clued up of mawufunda emakhaya even computer itself
ukomnandi right
ufikele learning lab uthi yebo
ikuthatha isikhathi
so when I got to UKZN I spent first 2 days ngilala toilet. Then on a third day, because of someone who took me at home, said to me, "It's fine, boy. Arrange lizinto. You'll be able to go to school. You'll be able to have a shelter." Then, thathi taxi. Fortunately, ngangathathi taxi. Kwanomntwana ofunda eMsimbo who was supposed to come to UKZN as well. So uthisha baseMsimbo they used to umaqala unyaka bathatha abantwana baba travelise babalethile. So nami ngathola ulift kuloyo.
Oh.
Sisuke endaweni eyi1 sendaweni eyi1 and nami labo thisha bakhona bayangazi even though sekuphele 4 years. So when I got to UKZN mangifika akunama finances that have been set up for me. Akuna rest that has been set up for me. Remember I don't know anyone around here except ekhaya State. Angamtshela uma ukuthi what's happening. I didn't because bengafuni kumstress. Kwakhona umntwana wentombazane. Are we allowed to mention names? Asizukuthuka inhlamba asithuki. In a good sense.
As long as uzokhuluma kahle.
Yeah, ngikhuluma kahle.
I'm sure naye uzojabula mayebona.
Lo ntombazane loyo wangithatha wangisa rese emantombazane. Then ebethi after lo 2 days of the toilet fortunately mina ngaleso sikhathi
leso uya attend kulo 2 days noma
ngiya attenda because angithi yabona makusaqala unyaka like kusuke senesixaxa esiningi amavasithi sokuthi akaze useregistile ama registration awakavali nani and nami ngikho clued up mina kuthiwa hambe eclassini mangimtshela umuntu hayibo baba izinto ayiluthiwa ayihambe eclassini wena kuzolunga okay ngiye eclassini ngilala lapha mangibuye eclassini ngidlani mangibuye eclassini ayikhulunywa
lo muntu lo uyamtshela ukuthi nazi sisimo obhekene naso la kodwa still uthi qhubeka uhlale lapha
yeah. So lo ntombazane ngikhuluma ngayo then wangisquatisa for I think it was 4 days. Ngasquata. Then kwafika a point whereby mase kuthiwa ama registration ayavalwa. Wafika lo muntu wayekade ngithembisa ungisiza on that day. Then he tried to push izinto mhlawumbe ngendlela ayekade ngabuzenze ngayo, yebo. Doors were closed. I remember ukuthi I left the campus mina naye. I remember wasebenzisa lift ukwehla. Yebo iHoward ngoba kanje. Ngithi yebo yena wasebenzisa lift ukwehla. Excuse me, I used the lift mina ukwehla. Then yena wasebenzisa ama steps but safika ground kanye. This person is driving. So masifika ground busy yelling at me telling me ukuthi wena mfana bese ngizwile ngawe ukuthi usitshela usile usitshela ukuthi uclever. Kanti this whole thing was not about them helping me. It was about them proving who I was based on what they've said. Literally, it comes back to my politics webbola that were there from where I come from. Because Pilange Bola, politics will always be there. Then in Shaka Kulu, it was the very same day I rushed to Le Resebeng Squad Seguyo. There was untombazana womngane from high school but umbalo kasikakane. I remember uTumbali ngamtshela Mbali ngifuna ukuyekhaya mnganami. Then wangifakela imali ngo-R200. Angamtshela angazange ngimtshela to why. Kanti mina there was only one thing on my mind that I'm going home and angifuna ukufela eThekwini. Let me just go ngiyofela eNquthu. Yebo. Packed my bags. Ngaya ngahamba. Without telling my mama, I took my calls and I direct kuYumbali.
This is 2009.
2010.
And 10. Census hasingeke eThekwini thina lapha. Bese khona.
You were there.
So umthindi how bese awuthindi ngani out bethi thina bese say yabo thina bese wanceda ama out bethi endlini yethu. Bese wanceda bethi. Bese wanceda.
Usethe bengifika kuye. Especially
makafika ushafuni.
Makubuka ibhola. Makabuka ibhola sibuka ibhola sibuka namabhola. Amabhola besilangile. khona ubuza makho ubuza umfana kabe omncane lo mthokozi. So ngahamba ngaye ekhaya, itaxi ke suka enquthu esuka eThekwini enquthu edlula nje eduze kwasekhaya. So ngidrop itaxi ngangena ekhaya, no one saw me ukuthi ngibuyile, ngangena ekhaya ngalala. I spent 3 days endlini.
Vele la around bazi ukuthi
bazikhakhiwa nkomo.
Nokuthi bazi ukuthi vele uyofunda noma.
Yeah, bazi ukuthi ngiyofunda. That 90 angishaka kakhulu ukuthi I was so convinced ukuthi now impilo yashintsha. Kanti lo muntu ayipromise ungisiza sebethatha i-call bayenza straight kusisi wami, bamtshela ukuthi lo mfana wakini sizamile ukumsiza, yena decide ukuhamba ekhaya enayo yonke into fine like nje mina ngaba umuntu oyeka isikole,
umuntu oyeka isikole nje kahle hle.
Then leyo nto le yamshaka kakhulu yena mamkhulu ukuthi after so much struggle then it's me quitting school. But nje angitshela in general terms, is there anything efana naleyo kunje ungavela uyeke sewuhluphe kangaka?
Ayikho vethu leyo nto le.
But I said okay fine,
ubungeke ulala etoilet.
That's the end of me. I said that's the end of me, I'm tired, maybe life was not for me. Then I tried to commit suicide. Then there was a guy who's my friend even now, but that guy saved my life because he literally came home after they started to suspect what's happening with me, because Umbali was starting to ask Vuso ukuthi ayibo ama calls kaMelusi angena kimi and abantu bayamfuna, yabo. By that time mina I was
uhlala wedwa.
I tried amaphilisi awangangisebenzela. Then I remember Vuso engena endlini, there was uThaiba kababa ngase ngibaxhumile ukuthi I'm cutting this thing called life. It was end of February 2010. Luckily
wethu World Cup wethu
ngaba ngiyazi. Yeah. And now I'm back at home. We're not in good terms mina noma wami because mina ngiyeka isikole kungafanele, yabo. So angishaya ke lapho, then ngahlala ekhaya. This guy fortunately I save life yami, then wangitshela
wathola noma
wafika ekhaya kanganokha, wavula umnyango, ngifica kamereni me trying to do this.
Wakufica nje uzama impela.
Ngifica ngizama namanje ngakutshela, ngifica ngizama.
Yo. Hey mfowethu, siyabonga mfowethu. Yo.
Yebo. Then
ngoba ngabe awuhleli lana manje.
Ngaba ngihleli la mfethu. Ngaba ngikho. Ezinye izinto ngaba ngizenzanga. Then ke ngapha ngisakhuluma nomoli, so even lo 150 benguthola emandla ngisawutholi. Because umamkhulu is angry at me to say ngiyekelela izinto ebesengiphiwe zona, and I don't have time to explain to her what literally happened, because at that time I was not sure what was going on. Yeah, I only realized at a later stage to say okay, this was a trap or a plot. Yeah. Kwaba ma Easter 2010. What happened that year was I had to humble myself with the help of the community as well. I'm a community child, so they organized to ukuthi okay lo mntwana ngoba uhlele ekhaya kune program ethiwa uzibambele labo mama bacenta umgaqo basekutshana.
Niyabona abafowethu, ngihleze ngikhuluma nge-community, umphakathi. Umfowethu la ngoba echaza ukuthi uyingane yomphakathi. Angithi niyayibona izinto ezenzakalayo uma ngabe umphakathi uhlangana ngenhloso yobuhle nokwakha.
Enye into ke balekele dachi kuleyo nto leyo, umphakathi, it's like the white community. They will only help you if uyasizeka. Nami will only help you if uyasizeka. Yebo. So now you need to show ukuthi umuntu okwazi ukuphila nabantu nokuphila ngabantu, because people cannot spoon feed you. They can do that, but into a certain point. So nami ngiyibonga uma-already ukuthi bakwazi ukungikhulisa ngendlela ukuthi ngiyakwazi ukuhlonipha futhi ngiyakwazi ukuthi ngimazi omunye umuntu. Yabo, angidluli ngisho ukuthi mama njani ayisiyaphila, because those little things are key to say mama njani ayisiyaphila with a smile. Yabo. So bangiorganizela ngakwazi ukuqasheka ngangicasha maqhamuka imoto, because my peers will look at me ngisekutshana eduze komgwaqo. Abanye already basebeva sithi baqeda sebesebenza. Ngawusika utshani ngapedo ngihlala ekhaya. But leyo mali leyo, I remember ukuthi I managed to buy myself a cell phone. Ngathenga i-TV lokho kusama 32 cm okuncane. Yazameka impilo. They say there's always a good thing that will come out of a bad situation. The very same year, my ex-girlfriend got pregnant. 30 with my first my daughter, my one and only. So makwenzeka leyo nto leyo, ifamily yakhe they wanted someone to talk to ekhaya omdala. I remember getting a call from umkhwekazi, sawubona baba njani ngiyaphila mama. Ubani omdala singakhuluma naye ekhaya ngithi, and yona kongathi ngiyamdelela mama ngithi mina umuntu omdala ekhaya yimi. Angithi akumuntu I'm not in speaking terms noma cause of what happened that year.
And awukwazi ukumbiza manje azokukhuluma indaba zokukhulelisa wakho.
So I remember ngahamba ngaya kubo mama Oledi, angijwayele kubo mama Oledi ngoyokutshela nje. Kanti eduze mama Oledi wami kwakho auntie wantolamana nobaba, then ngafika ngamtshela auntie sekunento kanje no auntie thatha ifone wafonela umamkhulu uthi ingane yakho sekanje. Then uma wathi batshele bangifonele. Uyambona umuntu onjani?
Hayi. Why isibusiso?
Just like my name. So
njengegama lakho.
She managed to resolve the situation wakhuluma nabo. Then 2011 February I was blessed ngentombazana. Yebo.
Uba igama lakhe.
Uzisanda.
Yeah.
I didn't give the name. My sister gave the name to say maningi amantombazana kwaKubheka, so asanda maningi. So that's when life ke yashintsha ke manje, a level of maturity have to come in. Kimi. Ukuthi now impilo ishintsha. Then I came back to Durban. Sesikwazi ukulungisa izinto noma sengim-explain ukwenza kanjani nama-sister ami ukuthi there was more behind that whole thing. Nami ngazama ukuyibuyisela emva kwami. Ngathatha amanye amashito
uyamtshela nje ukuthi usubuya ukuthi
uma I didn't go into deep details about the whole story sase UKZN nan because anyway she was not gonna understand ukuthi kwenzakala because into ezayi-involve amabhola amantombazane emasikhula singabafana, so it was just a plot yabo so to say.
Wait, laba bantu laba bebe negcopho la kudala.
Yeah, bekugcopho nje like around it was just football politics that were happening around us that time. And I'm telling you,
umuntu wengathathi into yasebholeni ayenze be personal ngaleyo ndlela leyo.
It happened. Believe you me, it happened.
Ayinikhona abantu bakithi ayanimeni kancane.
It happened, but ke ngoba ngisho ngithi there's always a good thing that come out of a bad situation. Because le nto le yabuyisa ibond kimi noma ulethu ukuthi nanku nginomntwana. I remember sisi wami because umahalo ngamshona usaba 2. Then my sister told me ukuthi ke bafo there's nothing engisazokwenzela yona ke mase ngizokwenzela umntana wakho. So fine. Then I came back on amashita ngithatha futhi ngasekhaya. Kune company enza udai somewhere like in town, then ngabamba itoho khona. It was not enough in a way yokuthi imali transport be exceeda imali bengihola at that time. I worked there for a few months, then uma wathi she used the F word dai hlala phansi wena ayikho phela lento. That was 2011 to 2012. 2013 uqala uNkulunkulu uhleze khona emhlabeni. You know my Facebook. So on Facebook, I was on Facebook. I met someone who was a stranger at that time, but now ngaqhamukala na umbona sosithethe ubhuti wami because it happened ukuthi sefana nami. This guy invited me on Facebook, saloku sikhuluma awakubheka lo bhuti angithi amekubheka.
Yeah.
Ezosixoxa ukuthi bafu kwenzakala ngempela singasho ukuthi mina I'm stuck in Durban, like in Pilimile, then I come to Joburg. Come to Joburg, who are you? Hayi boss abakubheka wena awusisihlobo sami umfowethu. Okay. Mina ngitshela uma athi, do you trust those people that you don't know? I don't, but it looks like these are people, they're good people. And apparently on Facebook there's a Facebook group yakubheka.
Yeah.
So everyone who's there, they treat you as a family even though they ngabakazi bakubona.
Yo.
That's how much I respect that family. That's how much I respect that family. So tachi then bangifakela imali. Kwamele ngihambe ngeGoli. Mina since ngafika eGoli 2013 June or July somewhere there. Bengakaze ngibhadala rent, bengakaze ngilale ngadlile until sengidecide ukuzimovela mina out of that house ngoba sengisebenza sengisho ukuthi nami ngimdala. Mangifika, they gave me accommodation for the year.
Awuzalwa nabo laba bantu?
No. This guy ngikhuluma ngayo uhlanganani Chris wakubheka eMnambithi. Ihlangana noMsisi wami bathu Andile naye wakubheka. So they organized omunye usisi wakubheka to say cause yena une space esiningi endlini. Angithathe sahlala nawe usisi wami ulindiwe. I love you my sister. Ngahlala noSisilindiwe without paying anything. ngalali ngadlile. Then kulo nyaka loyo ka 2013 ngifikile after 2 months then uChris wangithatha wangisa ubekasebenza kwenye center was managing center inama coffee bar inama restaurant and stuff inama restaurant and stuff. So mayifika lapha yana introduce me komunye umlungu bathi Jonathan Robinson. Who it happens namanje uthi umngane wami ngoba ngithi I'm a community child, I'm a tree and I've got branches because everyone has been involved in my life. That's why I was saying to you, if I were to tell you who I am and where I come from, you can spend the whole day. Yebo. So ukuhlangana nami introduce kulabantu laba ngifundisa ukwenza coffee. I'm a barista. I can give you a heart on the coffee. This is why you see this. It's always visit Joburg.
Mele nje sivuli coffee shop enquthu baby.
Anizokulithenga nje. Angithi naniphuza le tele siphinde lenze kanini. So
no soba kelisa. Uyazini uyabaza abantu bakithi bayithanda izinto. Ushaya setup emnandi egrand lapha bese ngilanda usenzo.
That's why ngithi mina this has cause someone wanted to come and do that. But it's still gonna come, I promise. So that guy umlungu Jonathan then wangifundisa ukwenza coffee. These people they looked at my metric results and said, F, why uhlele ekhaya nama results aso? And I was like, I don't know what to do with them. That guy literally dragged me to University of Johannesburg on apply 2014. After being a coffee barista for the rest of the year. I did my first year without having NFSAS, but because benhlana labantu labo ngisendlini yabo nginibe transport esikoleni. Waphela unyaka yathi UJC awubamba ama results akho because you're owing the university a sum of 27,500 my first year. Ngizoyithatha leyo mali. Kanti uNkulunkulu is always there. That year bengifunda I was bengenza a part-time job ye baristering. So on Sunday bengiyesontweni attend the first service, then second service I'm doing coffee. So while I was doing coffee engaging with people, I met a lady by the name of Eileen Maschet, who is my mom now. It's a white lady again. So naye ngamshare isitolo sami ngoba ngisharela wena. So I think she was touched, and then she called me my son from that day. So that has been my mom. Everything at Joburg that I have, that woman will give me. So 2014 when zanike mama lo labantu bakubheka bahlangana, then they started to raise ama donations ukuthi ngibhadale first day yami.
I see.
The first amount of money that was put on the table was a 50 rand. Ekisho umuntu mfana bathi ubhutizo okubheka uhlala la eClermont. Then they managed to raise about 4,000 rand on the spot. Because we're in a gathering somewhere. It was Charlestown. Then Saipata River City had to shut down 22,000 from there. That white lady, Ellen Maschet, had to donate from her friends. Or Patara 25,000 rand. It was donations from my friends. 25,000 rand. Young university results I pass first day. That's how much people have, from different angles of life, have managed to contribute something in my life.
And it all has to do with umuntu yen.
That my personality, it's, I don't know how to explain it, because I mean ngoba ngisho ngithi usiza umuntu osizakayo. I can get along with you if sokhuluma language efanayo. And I can be strange for sometimes if I want to, depending ukuthi wena uyini ngaleso sikhathi leso kimi. So I know how to humble myself mangikhuluma nabantu. I know how to show respect, and I know how to work hard. That's another key to say, even if kukhona the wall, push to your limit. If that wall lizo, but mangabili ngawa, but don't stop from pushing. That's how much life have been. Then I did my second year. I only got to NSFAS when I was around August. End of that August, actually second year, then Mom Ellen bought me a first laptop. In a laptop, a printer, and an iPad, and iPhone. What this was supposed to be your graduation present, but I'm giving it to you now because I know that you need it at schooling. Ngafunda, amnandi, ngaqeda ngoNkulunkulu. I graduated, and kunomunye umuntu ongenayo lapha uSithembiso. I-graduation mina, it was all about certificate sami ngihambe. This thing of graduation parties and everything, it was not even on my mind. because bengithi mangibheka ekhaya lakithi ngibheke mina ngithi ay to me this is still a dream
kuningi
because uma wangishiya kwakunedle umkhukhu nje ekhaya nenye it was for me I still had to work on my home before I can start to celebrate things. The very same people back there, they said no, that Chris said no. He went behind my back literally to organize a graduation party with some of the Kubhekas without me,
from the same Facebook group.
Without me saying yes to them, without me giving them a go ahead to say let's go and do that at home. They went. Stembiso was there. I think no sense why gone. Bang organize a graduation party at home. Gulo tuzwalo mkhule from a stretch tent and everything. That's how much that family has been to me. Ngalesikhathi leso bengingakasebenzi. Then I came back home. Ahlala ekhaya for the whole year 2018 because I graduated 2017. 2018 ngahlala ekhaya. Ngenxa ukuthi ngathi ngifuna umsebenzi around ekhaya because ekhaya kuhlala umuntu uthi yazi ngiyakhiya.
Yeah.
Ahlala ekhaya. But ngabona KZN angiqashiki. Then I went back to Joburg. Phinde ngahlala nabo sisi. Fortunately by the grace of God uNkulunkulu angibusisa ke futhi ngetoho 2019 January I started to work as a teacher. Yeah. 20 there's something I'm forget 20 was it 2016 angisazenza where they broke ekhaya baqhekeza. I was at school AUJ baqhekeza bathatha yonke into even an underwear that was there. The only thing even on the wall baphula intambo lezugezi. The only thing eyasala kule yandlu kwaba osofa because nabe bebakhulu so bengaba keep iminyango and the way they were positioned it was to say we are coming back. Yebo. Guess who told me? It was the very same community who gave me a call to say baba come back. I call ifika ngikwenye ama gatherings akwakubheka to say ekhaya kumoshekile. They stopped everything that they were doing kuleyo gathering then we drove straight sayinquthu the very same day. I think it was 4 cars. Safika kubo kaSthembiso because umkhulu kaSthembiso ube induna. Before ngaye ekhaya safisa check ukuthi okay kunje sasiyo umkhulu okay umkhulu sengifikile ekhaya just to acknowledge ukuthi okay ngifikile ekhaya. In a space of okay ngabona ukuthi okay izinto azikho then babona na ukuthi azikho. Bashiya a warning to say okay we are here but sasifuna izinto then we went back where we were. In a space of 3 days I got a call to come back. There is something that is suspecting what you might. I recovered all the things. I recovered all the things.
Bayibuyisa.
No, kunomuzi ezazikuwo.
Ongakhona la endaweni.
Not too far. I recovered everything. To say we even recovered ezinye izinto zomakhelana abakade beqhekezelwe in years and years before that. I think that was the last time sizonga incident yokugangelwa emakhaya eSilutshane. I recovered everything. Kwathiwa abantu bakubheka abadlali bafikile. And into ayibashaka ukuthi ngifike nabantu abangabazi. I remember these people we met on Facebook. So ababazi mina they don't know ukuthi mina ngihlala ekhaya ngedwa.
Bazi ukuthi nje wena we lone soldier.
Yeah. So impilo yami nokuba umntwana we community it started from there. Then when I started to work there's been this thing to me to say one day I want to give back to my community. One day I want to give back to my community. But to say how, I didn't have any idea. So into nje bengixoxa nombani uthi one day yazi ngiyafisa ukuthi one day ngiyafisa ukuthi kwenze kanje. I even used to share that with my mom Ellen Maschedra. I'm saying mommy one day I want to give back to my community. She always tell me ukuthi I know it will happen. Then one day I sat down to say what can I do? There were ideas running around. But what came back to me was the pain that I've seen abanye abantwana even though ngazenze game the pain of going to school barefooted. Fortunately for me akazi kwangifika. But this is winter. And it's strange to see what it's still happening even now in the rural communities that kids they still walk to school barefooted. They still walk ama distance amade going to school. Kusasa nabantwana basaphathe ama exercise books ngama plastic yabo. That's when I started to say, okay, if maybe I can try and speak to people because uNkulunkulu has blessed me ngokuthi now I'm able to network with people that I know they can if you ask them to do something. That's when I started to approach different people to say, okay, let me go to my primary school. And the idea was just me wanting to go to my primary school. And the reason for that, for me to choose the primary school that I went to is because I think it was 2017 where they did graduation abantwana, they invited me literally to say come and motivate these kids because you are seen as someone who is at that time but because of the way I grew up, I think the way I've soldiered on in life and everything, to them it touched them to say come and motivate these kids. Then I went there, I spoke to kids and I said, okay, in my primary school they still have that soft spot for me. So last year I spoke to Mom Ellen to say I wanna give kids, I wanna donate winter hats and hand gloves. Last year 2020, beginning of the year. Then when we started to send emails to even people from overseas, go Switzerland and stuff, we started to send those emails to ask for those things. Then COVID came, so everything has to be until this year. And then this year again, I said, no man, this is what I want to do. This one I want to do, give back, make a difference to someone. Because nami umehluko wenziwa kimi abanye abantu, even though mhlawumbe abanye they were not aware that they were contributing him, but I don't forget what they did to me or for me. Then I went to different people who WhatsApp and said, Doctor, I'm planning to go and give out shoes to my former primary school. Can you donate a pair of shoes? Most people were willing. People that started to give me shoes. I came back. So yeah. So this comes to what we are wearing right now.
Which is the foundation.
The foundation, yes.
That you're doing all this work under.
Yeah. So we started.
The foundation is triple S. Triple S.
Yeah, I'll tell you more about it now.
Okay.
So during lockdown last year, I met with the guys. It was Ustembi so Nusandile. One of them is here, one of them is not here. So we said, guys, what can we do? This is what I have in my mind. Then we sat down and they said, why can't we do it? But the challenge was we were still under lockdown, so we couldn't do anything. And then I said to them, the second thing is without giving tangible things to people, I went to high school without knowing what in and remember I told you that. So it's key that we speak to those kids, we share career advices to them to say this is what the world requires now. These are the demands now. Gone are those days whereby I will go to school and say, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be what. Let's try and find what is the world demanding now, especially with the FYR. So we said, okay, fine. Let's just go to high schools, do motivational talks. I would go there, share my story. We give career advices. Primary school, you can donate shoes because those kids, they still need something. But high school, it's more working with psychological. They said, no. Guys, I cannot be selfish and say I can do this alone because now I'm still learning now. Then systems started to introduce me to people. Okay, this guy can help with the career advisor schooling. And then we spoke to those kids. So we said, okay, guys, can you try and formalize this? But that's when Usenzo came in. Usenzo gave us a fresh breath, so to say, because he made me realize things that were beyond just going and giving something to someone. Here he was nigga that different aspect to this whole thing to say, guys, I aware with it, this is more important than what you guys think. You can go too far with this because you are doing it from the heart, not from expecting something in return. So then you sat down to say, okay, if sense we need to be formal, so to say, maso esikoleni singanye futhi ayi umelusi ulethele into le. We said, okay, lento iqale kuphi? Iqale uSandile. The first S, that's where it come from. Ustembi, so there he is, the second S. Remember I said I'm not umelus on my IP, I'm Spusis. So those three S's afika lapho. Then sazama uregister ke as ama NPO ehlala register. Ukufika kaSenzo, it has been a blessing. The first move siyenze, it was 28 Senzo. 28 zaka March. 28 zaka May. We went down, we visited 3 primary schools and we gave a total of 21 pairs of shoes.
And from this you required nothing in return.
Nothing in return.
And no one ageko kukela.
Ageko. Driving from Joburg to Mutu, back to Joburg, I had to try and use Engnako nami because nam abantu they used to sacrifice for me. I know that it happened. So savakashela again one of the schools of which is Luchane Primary School. Unfortunately ngaso sikhathi leso ubhuti lo ngomunye nginawo Sithembiso noSenzo babe semsebenzini because bayasebenza endaweni. So ngalo sikhathi leso kwakujola amalanga esikole. So ngahamba noSenzo so about 2. Then the first school that we went to Sashiyama pair of 15 of shoes just to say thank you to kids. We spoke to the kids ngalo sikhathi leso. We went to a second school Sashiya, another 3 pairs. Then so we visited actually 3 different schools of which was Umkombane, Sluchane and Shegelela. Sanikeza those pair of shoes. And then that's where the Triple S Foundation is about. It was about trying to give back to the community that you're coming from and try to make that difference that you can, whether about isn't this Tindagayo or umqondo wabantwana.
Yazi ukuthi nje on the point of mentioning ukuthi when you're talking about career advice, like ukuthi indlela ningena ngayo ukuthi nibonise ingane ukuthi yini efunakalayo njengamanje, like imiphi imisebenzi namathuba, because like I feel like ukuthi if ubuka thina ontanga yethu abanye sayathiwa hamba ngiyokwenza engineering ngoba yona ibukekayo yona nobukhazikhazi, yabo uthi usuqedile umsebenzi dololo.
Yeah, it's been key, and kumanje I have a wound in my heart because the plan was when I came back last week Friday, the plan was that kule Friday we had a setup ukuthi sizovakashela 2 high schools to do that, and we have organized people who are more knowledgeable in that department than us, someone who specializes in career advice to say come and help out. Then COVID started, school has to shut down, so we were unable to do that. So it's one of the things that have been not so good about this whole thing, to say into engifuna ukuyenza ayikakenzeki.
Akhona amanye mhlambe zikhona ezinye inhlelo mhlambe ekhona mhlambe esingathi zizo mhlambe mangathiwa i-country yabo kuvuliwe yonke into right mhlambe nihlosile ukuzenza through foundation.
So then we sat down immediately mangabe sizothi ziyavalwa, okay guys, we cannot say ikole zivaliwe and then sit down and do nothing. Then sesihleli mayisoba u4 yimo usenza usandile, okay sizokwenzani majita. So different ideas came ukuthi okay, this is what we can help, this is what we can help. Then ngekuthiwa kukho kuhlula amadoda, we volunteered, it was bekuyizolo, I think yesterday or day before, we visited one of the local schools again and we offered hands. Let's go and science deep cleaning on the school because there's no one there. So clean us on the school and we fumigated the school right without getting anything or expecting anything.
Yes, sir. You know.
It's all about trying to make that positive difference in a community, to say with bakhona abantwana abasakwazi ukucabanga into engcono rather than ukuyo
abanye bethu bangabona ithuba lokuthi hayi no isikhathi ukuthi siyoxova esigele,
yabo
mhlambe sitshontsha ama computer, because like ngibuke nje ukuthi yabo singabantu abamnyama siyathanda ukuthi sihleze sikhalaza kuhulumeni ukuthi sifuna enze ukuthi, but lokho okuncane okukhona okuqhamuka kuhulumeni njengazi izikole nje siyithathela phansi. Ubona abantu sebeyokhipha ifence yasesikoleni obiya ngayo kwakhe, uthatha amawindi esikoleni, uthatha ama-desk uyowabasa. Awucabanga ukuthi kunengane yakho mhlambe engazuza ngokuthi ithi maye esikoleni ifica i-desk likhona and isikole sibiyeliwe kuphephile, amanzi atholakala esikoleni.
So that's us in a nutshell, to say the message that we're trying to send is that we are here. If you want us to help, we've got hands, we can help. And now if you feel like kukhona ongasiza ngakho going forward in terms of mhlambe ngoba ngisho ukuthi even now I still have some pair or ecathula khona lapha endlini kimi. If you know a child that needs a pair of shoes, we're not saying what we have, but we can sit down and see kulo mntwana lo simsiza kanjani. Now if uthekhama kukhona nakho mhlambe a pair of shoe umntwana akho ngasasebenzisi, sinikeze sizokhambisa endaweni efanele. We're not saying people must give us money. We're not saying people must buy things for us. We're saying siza thina sizosiza abadingayo, or if udinga usizo sibone ukuthi singakusiza kanjani. We don't have izinto nathi, but ngeke sihlale sigoqa izandla.
Ama services zenu, are they only limited to a community yenu noma?
The aim was to reach indawo ehlukene, but I will say this zasemakhaya
Aye.
sikhombe showe sikhombe as long as kuyindawo yasemakhaya, because I still feel like abantwana basemakhaya we at some point they're still disadvantaged in a way,
highly disadvantaged.
so the idea is to reach out wonke ama community asemakhaya, do anything that we can ukusiza emakhaya to try and change this mentality of saying for you to be something you need to go back to, you mean to go to Joburg or to go to Durban, be what you wanna be kule ndawo uphuma kuyo, because there was the idea abantu basenquthu, this is the message, abantu basenquthu who have made it, please avail yourself. You wanna use them as examples to say nangu phuma la. If you know ukuthi you are, especially ama public figures, those that we see on TV, those we hear in radio, this is the message that we ask, we are saying, please avail yourself. Let's go and talk to those kids. Let's be an example that is present rather than me ngisuke nomuntu waseGoli ngize naye inquthu ngithi hi this person it was bakhona abantu basenquthu baningi. Let's not be selfish. Let's try and give all. The only thing that we asking from you, make a difference to someone. Ukuthi kanjani, try to make a difference, a positive one. There's one thing ngumntwana wesikole especially umntwana akakhohlwa.
Hey void.
Ngoba ngisho nami mase simkhiza ngikhohlwa ukuthi ngangiphuma ngiye ku break abuye esikhwameni samafaka ithinda ama beans nela fish. Kunzofika ngibone when I was in matric. Mhlambe yena la khona usakukhohlwa lokho. So if ever singa reach out to those kids at school, whether it's high school or primary school, umehluko uzoba mkhulu.
Yazi mfethu angiye ngibuze ngithi kambe yini into eyenza ukuthi umuntu mhlawumbe abe isigebengu, uyabona isimo mfethu ondlule kuso, ngiye ngibone ukuthi izizimo egcina lidela ukuthi abantu baphilile lezo impilo kanjalo, ngoba omunye umuntu akakhona ukumela isimo esifana naleso bese akhethe indlela elula, and then wena ongapha ungahlala ujaje kodwa manje ngoba isimo sakhe awusazi.
One of my friends always used to say to me, when I had every reason to be a para, but you chose not to.
Zonke.
But if you were to ask me now to say how did I manage, I don't know. I just don't know.
I know you are.
But
mina I'm inspired. Angazi ke ngabanye. Mina bethu inspiration.
The only thing I can share now, ukuthi the key thing is associate yourself with abantu that are going to challenge you. That will take you out from the comfort zone. Kunabantu afunda aqeda matric, then makazibona ehleli nalabantu ngiyaxolisa mangikhulumeka, but azibona nabantu abangasiqedanga isikole azibona engcono, then you become to comfort zone. Think of those people who went beyond matric, uzozibona unalutho awulutho. Push, associate yourself, look to those people who have made it. Aim high ukuze mawuwa uwele somewhere. Yebo. Asikho izathu ukuthi mhlambe ngathi ngoba sengiyatoga sengizojabulela ukuthi ngibe iboss ukuthi mangikhona ngiyabathengela abafuthi iphuzo siyaphuza noma ukudla nani, then mina no, there's more to life than that. Before senza lokho kambe ubani odinga ukuthi isinkwa sikhe ekhaya, kambe ubani odinga ukuthi akaqokanga ekhaya. Let's not be selfish as people.
Yazi mfethu ngiye ngithi angiyili mfethu kodwa mfethu uthola ukuthi umuntu mhlambe nje mina nawe sithi wena mhlambe urich, mina ngiyashizila, uyangithatha ungisa eclubini, ufika lapha sifike sishaya ibhili ka 50k 20k. Imagine if ubuthatha lo 20k wanceda isimo sami edladle.
Exactly. Angithi sifunani, sifuna that tag yokuthi angisikhokho. Ungaba isikhokho ngokusiza umunye umuntu. So bheka ukuthi abantu oseduze nabo nawe ba contribute nguwe, bafundani nguwe. Yebo. And I'm saying this because mina ngizothi futhi ibhola, because ibhola lingenze ngajwayela abantu abadala kakhulu nami. Yebo. And engithi noma ngikhuluma nabo manje ngithi bhuti kodwa mabethi pule. Those people abantu asebe ebehamba indawo, abantu abanezinto emhlabeni but who are still grounded. So that's give me that has been a learning curve to say noma ngathi unani. Yesterday I shared a video on WhatsApp to say everyone la emhlabeni unendlela yakhe. Everyone la emhlabeni impumelelo yakhe idalwa ngendlela engafani. Impumelelo general neyami ngeke izifane. So what you judging as your success, I mustn't use that and judge it or measure it to my success. Your blessings are your blessings, my blessings are my blessings. The fact that I can in a sync it's a blessing that I'm super grateful to.
Ngempela uqinisile mfethu. Yabona ayikho into ebuhlungu njengokuthi impilo yakho iphile ngokuthi uyiqophisane
nabanye abantu. Inkinga zoba nkulu because you don't know ukuthi behind that person kwenzakalani noma kwenzakaleni before.
Lento lesiyazi ngani ngoba wonke umuntu kunezinto ayizizwayo nandlula kuzo eyedwa angayixoxi nawo nomunye umuntu ophilayo.
Yeah, ngoba ngisho kubalekile uku-associate nabantu that you'll see they will push you. It's like when we are at work and we are colleagues, me and you are getting the same salary. Yabo. If you are getting the same salary, it doesn't mean ukuthi izinto nazo kumele ngibe nazo. Cause nginekhaya lakithi na unekhaya lakini unama demands wakho nami nginama demands ami. Mina kumele ngiqale ekutheni nekhaya baba wangafensile ekhaya. When your salary it goes straight to your pocket. Yabo. So if you go and you buy ama sneakers ka 7,000 rand for instance while you're earning same salary, akusinto nami kumele ngithi hayi ngoba because general ngisebenza naye kumele ngithi
into eyenzakalayo vele.
That's very
into
dangerous.
Eyenzakala impela le yabo futhi mawuqala ukusebenza.
That's very dangerous. So when you are living according to other people's standards, or else mawusushizile kakhulu mawuqala uthola mhlambe umehluko empilweni yakho sewufuna ukuthi and match those people who have been there, zoba nenkinga.
Eish. No,
but kubalekile uassociate nabantu abafana labe ngibasho ukuthi associate yourself with people who will share the same sentiment with you. So having people abafana no Senzo next to me, it's very 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 key and have been very helpful because umningi umqonde ngofunde kuye. He's one of those people that said to me 2013, "Yeah baba, go back to school." And I was like, "What? Pule, go back to school. Age is just a number, nothing." Because at that time I felt like I was old to go to ngisangabuyela esikoleni. Because I had spent, just imagine, from 2007 to 2013. I did my first year 2014. That gap to me, I was thinking, Senzo baba, go back to school. He's one of the people that I always rate highly for just saying that to me and not saying hamba ufuna umsebenzi osebenza sibe nemali, but he said go back to school. And isikole, not everyone uzophumelela ngesikole. That one we must not shy away from. Everyone uzophumelela ngokushaya. Do what you can ngendlela ongakwenza ngayo, but as long as leyo nto leyo ukuthi uhlose ukuthi impilo yephambili ube nomehluko kuwena kwabanye abantu, it's key.
And yazi ukuthi mfethu angeke ngikhohlisa, but sometimes even if yebo njengoba usho ukuthi ungaya esikoleni kodwa ungawuthola umsebenzi kuyo le nto oyifundela, kodwa leso sikhathi ozobe usithathile waya esikoleni wayofundela leyo nto le kuyakwakha nawe umuntu.
School is not there for paper only, but for your own reasoning capacity as well. It does help you a lot with that. So yeah,
because uyakwazi ukucabanga ngale level le
exactly
ephezulu critical ledingakalayo ukuthi ukwazi ukumanage izinto ezinjengezimali nokuthi ukwazi ukumanage impilo yakho nje iyodwa.
So yeah, just in all generally ukuthi I'm here because and I'm doing this because I owe it to myself and my community. I am a community child and I'm gonna do anything to make a difference, even if it means ukuthi ngenza umehluko umuntu oyedwa kwaba 100. At least deep down here I will know ukuthi I did contributed positively to someone as people did to me. Because as much as I lost my parents, but I've never felt that gap or space to say ngiyashizila because I don't have parents anymore, because people around me, they were there for me in a positive way. Yebo. Kunomuzi nje lapha ngasekhaya I was given a platform to say even noma sengekho hamba uvule endlini wenza ukudla udla. Ngihambe ngebholeni ngibuye ebusuku umama khona uzongifonela ngithethe awubuya ngani wazodla. That's being a community child. So yini mina ezongihlula ukuthi ngikwazi ukubona omunye umuntu ukuthi udingani lapha. Yini lezokwenza ukuthi ngoba mina sengiyaqala sengiyatoha angisahlali nabantu engihlale ngikhule nabo esilutshana. There's nothing.
Hey mfowethu uyabona ukukhuluma nawe mina kimi like kuvuselele ifundise ithize, not ukuthi bese ngikhohliwe but nje kuvuselela ukubaleka kwazo yabo njengokusiza nje umuntu ungalindele lutho
kakhulu
yabo. Sometimes ungenze uma usiza umuntu wena kuwe ungakubuka kuyinto encane ngaleso sikhathi, kodwa uma ngabe leyo muntu omsizayo esekuvulela ukuthi kudlala indima engakanani ungamangala. So mina nje ngafisela wonke umuntu nje wakithi, even umndeni wakubheka, shout out to everyone wakubheka. I feel like there's another African concept that we can incorporate into this technological era to help and uplift one another as abantu abamnyama per se, because here you are saying ukuthi abantu abamnyama who share the same surname as you opened up their houses and homes and their hearts, even their wallets,
everything
to you,
everything.
even though you're not coming from the same house.
Exactly.
You know,
it has been like that with me.
And then now you respected lolo sizo labo. You did not take it for granted. Now you repaid them by showing them side lakho lokuba umuntu. So for me, it's a beautiful lesson. Before sivale lento le, I don't think usenzo sadingeka la. Uyibambile mfethu. Abantu banithola kanjani
so ngoba ngisho ngithi ukuba khona kasenzo, it has been a first spread to us because ziningi izinto nama was not aware of, one of them being the use of social media. So usenzo has been there.
Ngicela ungibhekela le camera bese sisa record and bacha uDOP wethu yeah record rec ngizayikhatha le part yeah record nale okay siqhubeka mfethu.
Okay, so yeah, when it comes to social media platforms, usenzo nam gave us that thing to say, guys, use this, maximize this. So we have a Facebook page, Triple S Foundation, where we share izinto ezizenzayo nesizenzile. Khona nama details. For now, we asina office, so we don't have an office number. You use my cell phone or a number kasenzo or a number kaSthembi. So those people that I have that I'm working with, whether ufuna mhlawumbe kusisiza nga something or ufuna thina sisiza nga something. So we do have an Facebook page, Triple S Foundation. We do have we're still working on the website, so to say, because nathi siyafisa ungelanga sibe now, but ke you know ukuthi izinto ngophuma emakhaya kakhulukazi you need to be somewhere ukuze ukwazi ukuthola internet where you can connect, ukwazi ukwenza into ezifana nama zonke lezikhuluma ngazo. So we're still working on that and soon it will be up there, but we've got especially for now into engathi effective sayisebenzisa is that Facebook page and ama cell phone numbers wethu we do share them kumuntu ofisa ukusiza nokusizakala.
Hayi no cell phone number, nothing, no maska afik lapho.
Yeah, so I do have a number ngeke ngikhohlwe kapho uSthembiso lo ngisebenzana ngekhanda but uzongikhumbuza, kodwa mina eyami it's 071 344 8466 inamba kaMelusi leyo. Ungayisebenzisa noma kunini as long as ukuthi uze ngento enhle, ulethe into enhle noma ufisa into enhle, yebo. But ke ngoba ngishilo ngathi for now Facebook page yethu it's up and running, ama details amaningi nama contact details wethu akhona lapho. Or if you feel like you want something formal, mhlawumbe you drop an email or something. For now we're still using my own personal email address, and yeah, so which is melusikubheka10@gmail.com. so it's melusikubheka10@gmail.com. so that's the email address we're still using for now. And then nama phone numbers wami ngoba ngishilo ngathi 071 344 8466. On our Facebook page we have got my details with ikhona number yabanye abafundile abangisebenza nabo njengoSenzo noSthembiso no Sandile. Just that I let my phone there, so
sokuxolela la namhlanje. Sibusiso mfethu sibonge. You have a very inspirational story. I think our audience is going to enjoy this one and hopefully be inspired too. It's you don't need to have gotten anything in order to do good.
And siyabonga generally too, but siyafisa futhi ukubuya mhlambe nento ethinteka kangcono so
lalela mfowethu yabona nje ngoba senifikile so hleze ngoba ngathi ama updates sizwe ukuthi hayi senenzani manje yabo nisashoda ngani yabo mhlambe nani sekukhona ekuthize senikhiphayo yabo
because vele that's the whole idea
seni independent
siyafisa mfethu siyafisa abantu abafisayo nje ngoba ngishilo ngithi siyanxenxa kakhulu kumuntu ofisa ukufaka isandla senze umehluko emphakathini nanoma ngani because ngoba ngishilo ngathi we not that we focus ezikoleni kuphela, anything that has to do with the community development we want to be there. We want to, if it means silethe izandla zethu sizokwenza ngezandla, like yesterday because ngoba ngisho we went to a school, we senze deep cleaning, we fumigated the school. It was like asikhipha ngalutho but silethe izandla of which abantwana mababuya esikoleni bazobuyela endaweni clean ne safe. Siwenzile umehluko okuncane ngilanga kubakhulu.
Sebenza dak. Siyabonga. Thank you to all our returning subscribers. Siyabonga to the first time subscribers, listeners, viewers. Do the right thing. Don't subscribe. Hit subscribe. If not, like it at least because you've listened to the conversation. As Melusi said, you can find them on Facebook and use the number that he gave you or the email address. If you want to participate, if you have something to share, whether it's shoes, clothing as well.
Anything that has to do with ukusiza umntwana omnyama.
Shoes, clothing, food.
Backpacks esikole,
yes.
Stationery if you're willing to, anything.
Nje, something to help a person in need. Nje, especially kids.
Exactly, because that's where umehluko wenzakala kakhona kakhulu esikolweni.
Siyabonga. Catch us next time. Peace.